black and blue and watch your Super Bowl dreams till they all come true. One love, one team, one rock, one planet, the whole, one goal, one star, to dominate the whole. I'm a black and blue and watch your Super Bowl dreams till they all come true. One chance, one goal, one goal, one reading, running home into a light your soul. To see a person dream to the world, stories be real, all their eyes to glow.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays from Cleveland, Ohio. And we've got a great matchup for you today as the Steelers prepare to take on the Browns. And this one, personal for both teams.
They want to fight, we'll give them a war, baby. It's all business. It's not a game. Not today, ain't. It's personal today. It's definitely personal today.
Welcome back. Gorgeous day in Cleveland. 46 degrees at kickoff time. Bill Cowher and the Steelers coming off an 18-3 win last week at Minnesota. On the other sideline, Romeo Crennel took his Browns to Oakland and defeated the Raiders 9-7. Steelers and Browns meet for the 106th time. Cleveland leads the series 55-50. But Pittsburgh has won 15 of the past 18 meetings, including the past 4 here in Cleveland. Browns have won the toss and they will receive the football. Joshua Cribbs is back deep. Great energy in the stadium today for one of the NFL's oldest and most heated rivalries. Pittsburgh, Cleveland right now. Here's Cribbs from the 10. Gets up to the 32-yard line. Stopped on special teams by Chidi Uoma. And it's a return of 22 yards. Charlie Fry, last week against Oakland, 21 of 32, 198 yards, no touchdowns. He threw an interception. He's a lifelong Browns fan. And he is out of Akron, 3rd-round pick, only a rookie. And he left Akron with 54 school records. He threw for 2,000 yards in 4 consecutive seasons. And in Cleveland, they say he has all the intangibles to be a good quarterback in this league. First down and 10 at the 33. They throw it to the far side. Northcutt with the catch. Dennis Northcutt turns it up. And he gets out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. A gain of 4. Deshae Townsend sends him out of bounds. The Cleveland Browns ranked 23rd in the NFL in total offense, 19th in rushing, 20th in passing. Andruzzi comes with Crennel over from New England, where they won world championships. The receivers, Dennis Northcutt, 31 catches, 77 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. He is a big play threat. Second down and 6 at the 37-yard line. Here's Reuben Drones, and Drones picks up a couple. Stopped on the play by James Ferrier. Defensively for Pittsburgh, the Steelers' defense held the Vikings to only 25 total yards in the second half last week. Kimo von Oelhoffen, a veteran, Hampton and Smith, they run a 3-4 defense. James Ferrier doesn't get a lot of the recognition, but he may be the best tackler with the linebackers. And Troy Polamalu, the Tasmanian Devil, one of the hardest hitters in the NFL. Third down and 5 at the 38. Long snap count for Charlie Fry. Here comes a blitz. Fry with time, underneath, incomplete. Ball intended for his tight end, Steve Heighton. So the Browns are 3 and out to start this game.
You can see Charlie Fry trying to find his tight end. They're trying to get his wheels under him. He threw the quick hitch to Northcutt on the outside to get him started. Not the way they want to start, and that's the Browns. Gus, they're just going to try and stay on the football field, make some first downs, and give themselves a chance to win it in the 4th quarter. Start slow.
Antoine Randall is back deep. Kyle Richardson sends it away from the 23. And he gets a nice punt away, angling it to the far side, out of bounds. Let's see where they spot it. And they will mark it inside the 20 at the 16-yard line, a 46-yard punt. Great directional punting for Cleveland, and that brings on Big Ben Roethlisberger. Last week against Minnesota, 10 of 15, 149 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, no interceptions. Roethlisberger, number 3 in the NFL in the quarterback rating, behind Peyton Manning, as well as Carson Palmer. A lot of Steelers fans in attendance. So here comes Big Ben. Starts first down from his own 16. Willie Parker is his tailback. And Roethlisberger passing on first down over the middle, incomplete, intended for Antoine Randall. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense, ranked 21st in the NFL, 8th in rushing. Alan Faneca is the multiple Pro Bowler at left guard out of LSU. The backs and receivers, Antoine Randall, very dangerous man in a number of different areas, whether it be receiving, returning, or even running the ball on reverses with Pittsburgh. 2nd and 10 at the 16. Here comes Willie Parker. Bounces it outside with the seam, and he finds a crease and gets to the 25. Ben Taylor with the tackle, a gain of 9. Defensively for the Browns, their defense held Gary Collins to only 113 net passing yards, sacked him 3 times last week. Orpheus Roy is a former Steeler. Andre Davis just signed a 5-year extension last week. They love him at linebacker. And in the secondary, he's a needle in a haystack. Lee Bodden, an undrafted free agent a couple of years ago, is now a starter in the secondary for the Browns. 3rd down and 1 at the 25. And this time it's Willie Parker going straight ahead. Let's see if he got enough. Orpheus Roy making the tackle.
You know, Gus, as this game gets underway, you know, you watch these two teams on film, and we've seen them a couple of times during the season. If you blocked out the colors of the jerseys and you couldn't tell which the teams were, you could tell these teams hate each other. You don't have to know they're black and gold and orange to see that it's a Steelers-Browns game. Right from the very beginning, when these teams took the field in pregame warm-ups, you could tell they've both got attitude.
And the Steelers come up short. Do they? No. They pick up the first down. Yes, they do.
There's a lot of Steeler fans that made the trip over, and as always, and when the Browns play in Pittsburgh, a lot of Browns fans show up over there too. These towns take great pride in this rivalry. No matter who wins or loses, they want to see it.
First down and 10 at the 26. Roethlisberger with time over the middle. Antoine Randall with a beautiful catch. Gains 20 yards. Lee Bodden makes the tackle.
Well, in the open, we spoke about Antoine Randall being a guy that is an X factor. He's a home run hitter. You see there, he runs the post, and he comes right underneath. And this is a great throw by Roethlisberger, because you see there the safety coming over. Russell's right there. They got to fit that pass in quickly, and they get it done for the first down.
34th catch of the season for Randall. He's averaging 16 yards per reception. 1st and 10 at the 46. Here's Willie Parker. And Willie Parker picks up a couple. And how about Willie Parker? 3 100-yard games this season. And here's a man that made the 53-man roster as a rookie free agent out of North Carolina by leading the team in rushing in the preseason in 2004.
And I'll tell you what, this is a guy that when you watch the Steelers play, he is fast out of the backfield. And you put him in a complimentary role with Jerome Bettis. That is a really tough 1-2 punch.
Closing in on 1,000 yards for the season. 2nd and 6 at midfield. Parker scatting and gets inside Cleveland territory, picks up 4. Willie Parker averaged 4.4 yards per carry.
And then he'll come out of the game once in a while, and Jerome Bettis will go back into the game. And these two guys, Jerome Bettis, he'll have a couple of games where he'll average 1.5 yards and have 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's the kind of runner he is. When you need 1 tough yard, there has never been anybody in the National Football League that's as good as Jerome Bettis.
3rd down 2 at the 46. Heath Miller in motion, now lines up in the backfield. Roethlisberger in the gun, throws to the sideline. Beautiful throw, Cedric Wilson, his 25th catch of the year. He gains 18, and the Steelers pick up a first down.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger's got pressure right in his face, and he's going to throw this out there. They're not even looking for the football. Wilson doesn't even turn around until the ball is halfway there. Watch as this ball gets in the air. Now, of course, he's being covered there by Boden. And that's just an automatic throw behind. Great. You got to have the guts of a burglar to make that throw, Gus. And Roethlisberger did.
First down and 10 at the 29. Willie Parker, the lone setback. Play fake. Over the middle. Caught. Miller, the tight end, inside the 10. Great play action fake. Ben Taylor hauls him down. But Heath Miller, his 36th catch of the year, gain of 21.
And watch as Roethlisberger makes the play fake, and he throws this right at the back of the linebacker, covering. Yeah, that's Ben Taylor, and he throws it right at him. And 2 throws in a row. Roethlisberger showing some courage and giving his guys a chance to make a play. That's why this is a playoff-bound team, Gus.
And here comes my man, Jerome Bettis, the bus, ready for short yardage. First down and goal at the 8. Here's Bettis, and Bettis is taken down. Nice tackle by Chris Crocker. A 1-yard gain for Jerome Bettis.
And if you want to compare the difference between these two teams, Gus, there's it. The Steelers are pretty darn good down inside the 20-yard line. And as we'll see in a while, the Browns have struggled down there. But when you get down first and goal, Jerome Bettis is a difference maker.
The Steelers have scored on their opening drive in each of their last 2 games against Chicago and Minnesota, rather. Bettis again with room. Takes it inside the 5. Nice block by Alan Faneca. Jerome Bettis heading for Canton, Ohio, Steve.
Oh, no question. He's 5th all-time in yards. 4th all-time rushes. He's got 87 touchdowns. I mean, this is a guy, he may be the greatest Steeler to go into the Hall of Fame without a World Championship ring if he doesn't get one this year.
Such an unselfish man. 3rd down goal from the 2. Kreider in motion. They pitch it to the bus. Bettis. Touchdown. It's the 88th career rushing touchdown for the bus. 6th this season.
Watch Dan Kreider coming right out in front. Will lay out. Bang. There's McCutcheon, gets kicked out, and Bus takes on the linebacker and drags him like a tractor with a plow into the end zone.
The Steelers, 11 plays, 84 yards. They hold it for 5:51. And score on their opening drive. So Jeff Reed comes in to attempt the extra point. Down, up, and it's good. Jerome Bettis rumbling around the right side, and Pittsburgh takes a 7-0 lead. Jerome Bettis finding the end zone once again for Pittsburgh as the Steelers take a 7-0 lead. Jeff Reed will send it away. Joshua Cribbs is back deep inside the 5. Cribbs from the 5. He fumbles. Picked up. And somehow Cleveland falls on it. And there is a scuffle on the field. As we mentioned, these two teams don't like each other at all.
You said it, Gus. Everybody's looking for an excuse, and they thought they had one.
Rodney Poole recovered the fumble for Cleveland. Back after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream, McDonald's, and by Budweiser. Bright, crisp, clean, pure. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
Santa's got a lot of work to do later on tonight, but first a football game. Don't forget, log on to NFL.com and keep track of the latest official playoff picture with updated playoff scenarios as the games end. It's all on NFL.com and NFL on AOL. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker. Steelers score on their opening drive. Leave it to their defense now as Charlie Fry and the Browns come back onto the field, starting from their own 27. Reuben Drones, the single setback. Here's Drones. And Drones taken down quickly by Kimo von Oelhoffen. Reuben Jones picks up 1 yard on the play.
You know, Gus, there as you see the rushing yards, Pittsburgh is going to do everything it can to pound the football, and you saw it on that opening drive. Now the Browns have to answer. Charlie Fry going here in Cleveland. As you mentioned, Gus, he grew up in Willard, Ohio. I mean, this is a guy that is a hometown guy who loved this team and is now starting as its quarterback. Nothing he would love to do better than to knock the Steelers out of the playoffs.
Fry back to pass underneath, and it's caught. His tight end Steve Hayden makes a nice catch, and now they wave it off at the 40. Incomplete. Hayden has to bring that one down.
And he's looking right over Romeo Crennel saying, hey, I did catch that. Let's see. You'll see here as Charlie Fry catches this. He's right there, right out into the flat. Does he catch it or not?
Looks like he caught it to me. No, it popped out at the end.
At the end, he let it go. You're right. Just Romeo Crennel throwing the flag maybe just a little bit too early.
So Romeo Crennel challenging Pittsburgh on top of Cleveland by 7.
And there you see Steve Hayden, who, you know, when you get into a game like this, Gus, where it's an emotional game, you kind of maybe lose your head a little bit. Steve Hayden got up saying, I caught that ball. Well, you know what? He did not catch this football, and his team's going to cost them a timeout early in the game that you might not afford. You see there it's on the ground. Watch as it still goes a little further. Watch the ball end up back underneath his legs right there on the ground. You can't let your team waste a timeout in the first quarter on a 5-yard reception.
Let's get the call. Browns have challenged 5 calls
After
this year.
reviewing the play stands as called. Incomplete pass. Receiver dropped the ball and hit the ground.
So the Browns burn a timeout.
With the first challenge,
Cleveland 1 of 6 on challenges, but Steve Hayden has had a terrific season. 41 catches coming into this game, averaging close to 10 yards per catch. And those 41 catches are the most receptions for a tight end since 1985 when Ozzie Newsome was here. 3rd down and 9 at the 28. Antonio Bryant splits wide to the top of your screen. Dennis Northcutt at the bottom. And Friesman Jackson is in the slot at the bottom of your screen. On 3rd down and 9. Here's Fry. Sets up a screen, and it's incomplete. Reuben Drones, the intended receiver, took his eyes off the football, and the Browns will have to send it away.
And this is why the Browns, you know, you can say they're improving, but it's also easy to see where they could possibly be a lot better when you make simple mistakes like this. You blow a nice little hitch pattern to the tight end on one play and drop a simple screen pass on the next. That's why you're not in the playoffs.
So Kyle Richardson will send it away from his own 14. Antoine Randall back deep. Short punt. Randall comes up to field it, and he picks it up at the 33 and is slung down at the 36. Nicely done on special teams by Sean Jones. A 38-yard punt and a 3-yard return. And here come the Steelers on offense.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Silver Star High Performance Headlights from Sylvania. Wouldn't you want 2 of the safest headlights on Earth?
Monday on The Late Show, Dave's got Howard Stern plus a special top 10 with Tom Hanks. Don't miss The Late Show with Dave Letterman all this week on CBS, America's #1 network. Steelers take over at their own 37-yard line. Offset eye, Kreider and Parker in the backfield. Here comes Willie. And he is ambushed at the 35. Will lose a couple. Orpheus Roy, the former Steeler, leading the way. A loss of 2.
Gus, you take a minute to look back at their first drive. This is the first really good run off the play. You see how fast Parker is. Then you see the throw behind by Roethlisberger, and then Bettis pounds it into the end zone. This Steelers team is so solid in all facets of the game. They're really, really a good road team in the NFL.
2nd down and 12 at the 35. Draw play, Parker. And Parker gets close to the 40. Jason Fisk with the tackle, a 4-yard gain. Big Kansas City matchup. Here's Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, guys, Merry Christmas to you. It's 7-0 Kansas City by virtue of this Larry Johnson 4-yard touchdown run. Chiefs cannot afford a loss today. Coming up on 6 minutes to play, Kansas City with a 7-0 lead. Back to you.
I tell you, the wild, wild west. San Diego, Kansas City, both still in it. Pittsburgh also a part of the wild card mix. 3rd down and 8 at the 39. Roethlisberger down the seam. Guess who? Hines Ward with the 1st down at the 41. Brian Russell with the tackle, but it's a gain of 19.
That's why Pittsburgh is such a tough team to beat, Gus. The Browns do a lot of little stunts up front, bring a corner late, and Roethlisberger has time to get this right over the linebacker into the coverage. They are so solid in the run game, and Roethlisberger makes such good throws to this wide receiving core. They are just a handful to match up with.
1st down and 10. There's Hines Ward. Roethlisberger firing. He's got Hines again. Hines Ward out of bounds at the 10. Great ball fake. Crocker ushers him out of bounds. A 32-yard gain.
Watch the defense as Roethlisberger fakes this handoff. They're all jumping right up at the line of scrimmage. Roethlisberger comes out, and Hines Ward is all by himself, and that's the beauty of a great run game right there. Hines Ward can catch this in the middle of an open field by himself, and it doesn't even take that great of a throw.
Hines Ward, the only receiver in Steelers history to surpass 1,000 receiving yards in 4 straight years. The bus is back in. 1st and goal at the 10, and they give it to the bus. Jerome Bettis wrestled down at the 6 by Bodden and Brian Russell.
Yeah, this running game for the Steelers really gives them an advantage, Gus, because you saw it. Not only does it make them tough down in the red zone, as you see there, they're 1 for 1 today, but that also sets up the passing game. And last year, when Ben Roethlisberger was a question mark, this run game took the pressure off.
There's Hines Ward, though. 2 big receptions on this drive.
Gotcha.
2nd down and goal at the 7. Bettis in motion, empty backfield. Roethlisberger. Oh, what a catch! Hines Ward! What a catch by Hines Ward. And the Steelers are ready to go up 14-0.
Watch this great catch right over the top. Well defended there by Mickens. Watch as they come right up inside. Mickens is right where he needs to be between it, and he just puts it over his fingertips, and Ward can make the grab. That's why the Steelers know this is an important game, and they're playing like it. They've shown up big, Gus.
Hines already 3 catches, 57 yards, picks up the touchdown. Extra point is up and good. The former college quarterback at Georgia, the Steelers MVP in 2003, and Big Ben puts it on him. Steelers up 14-0. Another great play for Hines Ward as he passes one of the immortal Steelers, Lynn Swann, for all-time touchdown receptions. Now he's chasing John Stallworth.
I'll tell you what, Swanee never had a catch that was any tougher or more beautiful than the one that Hines Ward just made in the back of the end zone.
I don't know. Remember that catch out in the Super Bowl?
All right,
over the shoulder?
Maybe he had a couple.
Come on, man. What are you talking about? Here come the Browns. Cribbs tries to break it outside, and gets to the 35. Flag on the play. He's stopped by Ricardo Coakley. And this will go against Cleveland.
During the return, holding 24 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Bill Cowher 98-1-1 when they lead by at least 11 points in a game. And Ben Roethlisberger threw that one to Hines Ward to give the Steelers a 14-0 lead. Joe Montana, Brett Favre, and Adam Vinatieri have some Super Bowl memories they've never talked about. Get these tales and many more on Super Bowl Secrets, presented by Capital One, tomorrow on CBS Sports. Steve, you played in 4 Super Bowls. Come on, give us one secret when the Bills were there.
The secret is try and do your best to score more points than the other team. Your life will be a lot better.
First down and 10 at the 11. Fry to the sideline. It's incomplete. Ball intended for Antonio Bryant. Ike Taylor covering. Let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture. Take us through it, Steve.
Well, you see the 4 teams that are already in and clinched a berth, and now Pittsburgh continues to win. Now they're going to get in. Now they win the tiebreaker with San Diego. Kansas City and San Diego can't be eliminated unless they lose or if Pittsburgh loses. So it's a horse race. There's no question, and it won't be decided until next week.
2nd and 10 at the 11. This one caught. No gain on the play. Antonio Bryant again, and Deshae Townsend jumps on him.
Now you look here with the remaining records of the teams they have to face, and I'll tell you, it's easy to go over and look at Pittsburgh and say, well, they got Detroit next week who's struggling. And let me tell you something. They play these games for a reason, and you want to go all the way to the end. Now, if Pittsburgh wins out, they're going to be in because they've got the tiebreaker. In Jacksonville, it just depends on where Jacksonville finishes as to who's number 5 seed and who's number 6 seed.
I think they're playing a dangerous game today, Jacksonville at Houston. 3rd down and 10 at the 11. Fry in the shotgun. They need to go to the 21. Fry steps up in the pocket, and he goes down, loses it, and recovers the ball. Joey Porter, his 9th sack of the season. And Cleveland will have to punt it away once again. A loss of 6.
And Charlie Fry under pressure in the pocket as he rolls out, and this is a defensive scheme. You get the quarterback to move left and then just keep running around the corner because most linebackers in the league will catch every quarterback they chase.
So Antoine Randall is standing inside Cleveland territory. Now he backpedals and will field it at the 45. They set it up to go outside. Antoine time. Hey, he lost it. Loose ball, Browns catch a break. Poole, his 2nd fumble recovery. And Cleveland will get it back.
We said in the open, Gus, that Antoine Randall is a home run hitter, but right here he hits a foul ball, and it's caught by the Browns right there. Couldn't have been any better of a bounce for Poole to pick up, and the Browns get it right back. Although it was after a long return, they're still inside their 20-yard line, but there's no question, Gus, they dodged a bullet.
Poole, a rookie out of Oklahoma. Right place, right time. Cleveland takes over at their own 12. Play fake, Fry to the sideline, thrown high for Northcutt. And to start this game, Steve, Cleveland really looking out of sync offensively. Now let's join Greg Gumbel in New York.
Gus and Steve in Kansas City. It's a game the Chiefs cannot afford to lose. Drew Brees rolls right, throws back to his left. Antonio Gates on the receiving end, 18 yards and a touchdown. It's a 7-7 tie. They're in the final minute of the first quarter.
Wow, what a game in Kansas City. Chiefs having all sorts of problems tackling against the Giants. Now they give the ball to Lee Suggs, and he gets to the 11. Stopped on the play by Larry Foote. Jacksonville's at Houston today. I think it's a dangerous game. How about you, Greg?
Gus, the Jacksonville Jaguars can clinch a postseason spot with a win. LeBrandon Tofield from a yard out gives them the lead 7-3 over Houston. They're early in the second quarter.
That's what you meant, dangerous for Houston, right?
A lot of time remaining. Jacksonville controlling their destiny. 10 wins. They win today, and they're in. Third down and 11. At the 11-yard line, Lee Suggs in the backfield. Fry looking down the field, broken up. Beautifully done by Bryant McFadden.
And Northcutt is going to be on the hook route right inside there on your watch, just to the top of your screen, right up in this area. He's going to come back in, and he's got to come back to the quarterback. He's standing there almost backing up away. Watch as he kind of shuffles. He's going to move away, and the McFadden goes right in front of him. A receiver has to go back towards the quarterback, otherwise they'll always lose that pass.
Brown send it away again. This a line drive punt, fielded on the run by Randall L. Now he turns and goes the other way. Antoine Randall down at the 46-yard line. A 4-yard return on a 47-yard punt.
And this is going to be a block in the back on the Steelers. And anytime a returner starts to run in circles, that's what happens. The guys who are blocking for him don't know where he's going to be, and they get caught on the wrong side of their assignment and put their hands on the middle of the guy's back.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 20, receiving team. 10-yard penalty, receivers will keep the ball, first down.
Brian McFadden. Tuesday, January 17th on CBS, Tom Cavanaugh stars in the new series, Love Monkey. The show that's all about what friends, music, and life are all about. Love Monkey. Coming Tuesday, January 17th to America's #1 network.
Now, I haven't seen that yet, but I'm thinking it's going to be my favorite show.
Antoine Randall kind of reminds you of football's version of Marcus Haynes. Remember the great globetrotter that used to dribble all the time? He'll reverse his field. He'll do crazy stuff when he's running that ball. 1st and 10 at the 37. Willie Parker looking for a hole, and he picks his way to the 40. Gains 3. Alvin McKinley with the tackle.
You know, we spoke about this Steelers offense and Ben Roethlisberger and his importance to it, him being back in the lineup. And we spoke to him during the week, and he said, you know, we have played better in the last couple of weeks since I got back in the lineup, but what he has noticed is the swagger of the Steeler defense. And I think Bill Cowher has really put together a team that complements itself. Its offense works with its defense gets that swagger, and they are very intimidating and physical to play.
2nd down and 7 at the 40. Here's Roethlisberger, pump faking, going for it all. He's got a receiver, caught. Wilson inside the 15. Brian Russell with the tackle, but Big Ben Roethlisberger put that one on a rope. 47-yard gain, and the Steelers are in business again, up 14-0. Pittsburgh, 46-yard completion. Ben Roethlisberger finding Cedric Wilson. And this guy is only in his 2nd year, Steve. But Ben Roethlisberger, he's got so much poise and maturity to be only a 2nd-year player out of the MAC. He didn't play at one of these big-time college programs.
I think the difference is that guy. He's playing for a coach who believes in the running game, and no matter how much success Roethlisberger had last year, he only let him throw 15, 20 games, times a game, only enough to give his team a chance to win. He didn't depend on him. He let him play.
The bus back in the game. Roethlisberger looking to the sideline, finds Kreider, and he's ridden down at the 10. Roethlisberger, 8 of 9 to start.
Watch here as it comes up. He's going to give a little wiggle and it's straight up, and when he gives this wiggle right here, that's when Roethlisberger gives a pump fake, and the defense just loses him. And Roethlisberger sidearms this out of there, and I think, you know, you saw him when he threw it that hard. Roethlisberger changed his delivery a little bit, maybe because of the sore thumb.
Second down and 6 at the 10-yard line. Bettis, the single set back. Hines Ward in motion. Here's the bus. Cuts it back. Delivers a blow and gets to the 6. Jerome Bettis has faced Cleveland 12 times. He's averaging 78 yards per game over those 12 games.
And there you see it, Gus. 2 for 2 today. I mean, that's a statistic that the Cleveland Browns are just getting a little bit tired of, even here in the first half.
Bettis with 9 career touchdowns now against Cleveland. Third down and 2 at the 6. Steelers 4 on 4 on third down conversion. Quincy Morgan wide to the top of your screen. He comes in motion. Roethlisberger in the gun. They pitch it. Antoine Randall trying to get outside. Nothing doing. Beautifully done. Dalen McCutcheon. Longtime Brown now. 7th year.
Well, we've been talking about Randall L. all morning and all afternoon. This guy's a guy they asked to do a lot of things. Kick return, pass receive, and he runs right out of the backfield. And I think, you know, even though he's had a couple of rough plays, the fumble on the punt return, and there he got thrown for a loss, we haven't seen the last of him today.
So that brings on Jeff Reed to attempt a 26-yarder. He's hit 34 straight field goals inside the 40. Got it up. And good. The 26-yarder good for the Steelers, who now take a 17-0 lead. 17-zip. Pittsburgh with the lead. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker. Steelers have looked terrific. Bill Cowher definitely had his guys ready to play coming into Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. Bill Cowher is one of the great motivators. I played for him as a coach in a Pro Bowl when he was the Cleveland Browns assistant coach, and also I played for him when he was a head coach at the Steelers. This guy gets you ready.
Cribbs back deep. He starts from the 10. And Cribbs wrestled down at the 33, a 23-yard return. Stopped by James Harrison. Cowher and the Steelers up big early.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Best Buy. Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. Zurich, because change happens. And by Remington Titanium Shavers.
It's been rough going for the Browns on offense. They've had the ball 4 times, run 12 plays, and have 1 yard in total offense. So Charlie Fry will try to get things going right here. 1st and 10 at the 33. Fry, play action, almost sacked again to the sideline. Troy Polamalu had a beat on that one. Joey Porter was a short breath away from sacking Fry again.
Boy, the Cleveland Browns got away with it on both ends of that play. Porter just missing the sack fumble in the pocket against Fry, and Polamalu just coming up short on the interception at the other end. And you see there as those stats flash up on the screen, it's been a long first half for Cleveland.
2nd down and 10 at the 33. Browns run it. Drones grabbed by Porter at the 35, picks up 2. And that'll bring up another 3rd down and long for Cleveland. They need 8 yards.
Anytime, Gus, you have a team like Cleveland who kind of wants to measure itself against the Steelers, maybe take a shot at one of the big guys on the block, you're saying, you know, what do we have to do to be like the Steelers? What do we have to do to beat them? And right now, they're not doing much of anything. The Cleveland Browns have got to find a way to run the football, make some plays, and get a 1st down. They have been completely dominated.
3rd down 8 at the 35. They need to go to the 43. Here comes a blitz. Fry to the sideline. Knocked away. Ike Taylor knocking it away again. Friesman Jackson, the intended receiver. This ball thrown a tad bit late, Steve.
A little bit late, but his receivers really aren't getting enough separation on the outside, and with good reason. I mean, the Steelers are absolutely sitting on every route. They have not even retreated into a backpedal yet in the secondary for the Steelers. They don't believe the Browns are going to go deep because they don't think Charlie Fry has enough time to drop back that deep.
Richardson sends it away again at the 20. Antoine Randall camps under it, starts from the 17, and he dives forward, gets to the 23. 47-yard punt, 5-yard return. Big Ben, another Ohio young man, is having close to a perfect day.
There you see it. It's Charlie Fry, and I'll tell you guys, we spoke about it in the break. There's no reason to take Charlie Fry out of this game. It has not been his fault that this team has struggled offensively. He's had 3 drop passes already, and he hasn't had much time to throw.
First down and 10 now for Roethlisberger and the Steelers at the 23. Willie Parker gets to the 26.5 before being chopped down. Tackle on the play by Andre Davis. For over 140 million viewers, CBS is the place for TV's #1 news magazine, TV's #1 comedy, TV's #1 reality show, and the #1 show on television. And more people watch the NFL on CBS than any other network. So it's easy to see why CBS is America's #1 network. 2nd and 6. At the 27, play fake, Roethlisberger up top again for Randall L. And this one incomplete. He overthrows him.
I'll tell you what, Gus, I've played against Bill Cowher as a player, and I've played for him as a player. Let me tell you something. If he's up on you by 25 points, you better keep playing because he'll get up on you by 32. And if he's up on you by 50 points, you better play hard because he'll try and get up by 100.
He's just like his mentor, Marty Schottenheimer.
This guy will not let up on the Cleveland Browns, period. They'll win by 100 points if they don't stop him.
Cowher with only 3 losing seasons in his 14 years in the Steel City. 3rd and 6 at the 27. Roethlisberger. Hines Ward gets to the 32. Poole with the tackle, a 5-yard pickup. And let's take a look at Bill Cowher. He's done a lot. 14 years, only 3 losing seasons. His winning percentage 61%, 8 division titles. Cowher, the only coach in the league, one of 6 coaches rather, in NFL history to win 8 division titles. And ironically, he started his NFL coaching career here in Cleveland as a special teams coach under Marty Schottenheimer.
That's where I met him, and he was the same guy. In fact, Marty Schottenheimer told us in a meeting that he had to get a coach that was in charge of keeping Cowher from running from one end of the field to the other with his special teams players on the sidelines. They keep threatening him to throw him out of the game because he would run from one end of the field with the kickoff team to the other, and he was a coach on the sidelines. I mean, this is a guy that has a passion for the game that is unrivaled even after 14 years as the head man.
First down and 10 at the 33. Pittsburgh with 10 first downs. Hines Ward. Roethlisberger in trouble. And he's sacked at the 25. Great job, Alvin McKinley, with his 5th sack of the season. A loss of 8. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Gus, thank you. In Kansas City for the Chiefs, it's a game they cannot lose and make the postseason. Trent Green, nice move. 42 yards to Sammy Parker. 14-7 Chiefs, 11:47 to play in the first half.
Gus, I'll tell you what, playing in Kansas City in December is poison if you're trying to make the playoffs. And you look there, they're still in it, chasing Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Jacksonville. That's a tough division.
Jacksonville trailing Houston now on the road. Play fake again. No, this is Parker. On the draw play, Willie Parker wrapped up. Nice job by Kennard Lang. No gain on the play.
Well, now, Gus, as you watch the Browns defense step up and get the sack, and then throw him for a loss on this play. This is what they want to get the Steelers into, a third and long situation. But this is also, as you look at Kennard Lang making that tackle there, this is where Ben Roethlisberger has been able to make plays his entire, though short, career. This is why he is a playoff quarterback.
3rd and 18 at the 25. They need to go to the 43 for first down. Roethlisberger all day to throw it over the middle, incomplete. Haynes, the intended receiver. The Cincinnati Bengals have had a good season. Here's Greg Gumbel in New York.
And Gus, they're facing Buffalo today. The Bills looking for their first win this year on the road. Kelly Holcomb, 3 yards for Lee Evans, 13-7. Bills lead the Bengals, about 9.5 to play in the first half.
As you take a look at the AFC North, Cincinnati clinched last week by defeating the Detroit Lions on the road. They're looking for a first-round bye, battling Denver for that spot. Gardaki, the former Brown, gets away a beautiful punt, sends Northcutt back to the 27, and Dennis Northcutt is chopped down at the 35-yard line. A 47-yard punt and 8-yard return. James Harrison with the tackle on special teams.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM. Become an on-demand business. IBM can help. And by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller. Good call.
Welcome back to Cleveland. Browns take over at their own 35. They have yet to earn a first down in this game. Cleveland struggling on the offensive side of the football. Let's see if Charlie Fry and company can get something going on this drive. Moving Drones in the backfield. Draw play, Drones. Stood up, knocked backwards. James Farrier with a terrific hit. Second leading tackler on this team. A 2-yard gain.
You see Farrier make that play right there. This is what they've done to the Cleveland offense today. The drop passes, there's one there, another, and then the floater to the outside, uncatchable by Northcutt, and then, of course, the sack and the fumble that Fry manages to cover. They've only got 3 total yards on the day, plus the 2 they've gotten on this drive, and Pittsburgh has over 200.
Second down and 8 at the 37. Short drop underneath, thrown behind Northcutt. And that will bring up 3rd down and long. Ike Taylor covering.
And this is where, you know, as a player, Gus, and your offense is struggling, as Charlie Fries are trying to get something going, just miss an easy slant pattern. The key is to rely on what you've practiced all day, every week. You got to catch the ball. You see Maurice Carthon, he's going to call some plays that are going to be easy completions or basic run plays, something he knows his team doesn't have to think too much to execute.
Fry 2 of 11 in this game, 4 yards. He's missed his last 6. 3rd down and 8. Setting up a screen. Drones with the catch. Picks up the first. And some! Whoa, what a play! Reuben Drones inside the 35. Carter got him, but it's a gain of 29.
And this is a great screen pass right here. Just slips out, and this is the play the Browns have been looking for as he catches this one. They missed it earlier. The offensive lineman picked the guys out. He runs right past the guard, Andruzzi, who's trying to keep up with him. It turns into the biggest offensive play of the day for the Browns, and then delivers the blow right at the end.
So the Browns fumble it and recover it at the 42. Drones jumping on the football.
This was made by the defensive of the Pittsburgh. Watch as they jump across the line. They just get so much penetration. Bang, right across the line of scrimmage. That's Hoke jumping right back into the line, into the thing. That's Casey Hampton, rather. And he just got so much penetration. He blew that play up from the nose tackle position, and that's tough to do, Gus.
Loss of 8 yards. Casey Hampton in his 5th year out of Texas. 2nd down and 18. At the 42. Fry to throw again, and he's sacked again. Joey Porter, second sack of the day. He now has 10 on the season.
Charlie Fry has no shot right there. Drones has to make the play fake, can't get back to make the block. The Steelers just absolutely manhandling the front of the Cleveland Browns right now. You see the offensive linemen, they're standing up in front of Fry looking around for somebody to block, and he's already on the ground behind them.
So that makes it 3rd down and 26 at midfield. Browns need to go all the way to the Pittsburgh 24 for first down. Fry knocked, stripped, loose, recovered by Cleveland. Brett Kiesel stripping the football, a flag on the play.
This is going to go against Cleveland.
Holding, 70, offense. That penalty is declined. Resolve the play, 4th down.
Gus, if you want to know what the Steelers do and why they're able to do so well in the regular season, they answer. You saw the big play on the screen pass by the Browns. The Steelers wasted no time. They answered that. And in the next 3 plays, they cost the Browns 21 yards. They couldn't get another positive yard. The Steelers, when you hit them in the face with a big play, they hit you right back.
So Cleveland's Kyle Richardson standing at the 30. Antoine Randall back deep at the 11. Oh, it is blocked. It's blocked. Picked up. And the Steelers have it at midfield. Uwoma with the recovery, but the ball was blocked by Bryant McFadden. Great job by McFadden.
It's a jailbreak. He comes in and takes the ball right there. You see it. And that's also James Harrison in there. They had no shot at getting that ball off. It was deflected, so it actually will not go as a block punt because it got by the line of scrimmage. And then once again, the Steelers are all over the football. Special teams getting into the act now here in Cleveland. And they're on a roll as Kyle Richardson had no shot at getting that ball off. It was a jailbreak.
1st down and 10 at midfield. For Ben Roethlisberger, 6:02 to go in the second. And Willie Parker tries to turn, goes nowhere. Kennard Lang in on the play, a loss of 1. So the playoffs are right around the corner. NFL experts Pete Briscoe and Clark Judge break down which teams will make the cut and who will be left out in the cold. See if your team is in or out at CBSSportsline.com. Bill Cowher hoping that his team gets in. 2 games remaining today and next week against Detroit. 2nd and 11. Roethlisberger bounces out of the pocket, throws across the field. What a catch. What a throw. Hines Ward at the 30. 21-yard gain. Thompson with the tackle.
Watches Roethlisberger just will nonchalantly almost move away from the pressure, keeping his eyes downfield. He never looks at the rush. He feels it. Keeps his eyes on his receivers. Thompson gets a good hit, but not after Hines Ward has made the play.
Steve, I thought a quarterback was never supposed to throw across the field. Late over the middle.
Hey, if it works, you gotta let it. If it happens, if you can get away with it, do it.
1st and 10 at the 30. Roethlisberger again looking. Another home run in the corner. Incomplete. Cedric Wilson, the intended receiver. Lee Botton, Chris Crocker covering defensively.
This is a great throw by Roethlisberger right into the front corner of the end zone, right where his receiver is going to be. And you see the double coverage, and just in time, Botton gets his hand up and knocks it away. Double coverage, but they did have a chance, and that's what you love about a quarterback, Gus. Lets his guys maybe make a play for him, and I'll tell you what, the Steelers have still got their foot on the gas.
2nd and 10 at the 30. Here comes Hines Ward in motion. They hand it off. Willie Parker breaking through the hole and is dropped at the 20. Close to the first down. Chris Crocker with a very nice hit at safety after a 10-yard gain.
You see Crocker did lay a lick on Willie Parker, but Parker had already picked up the first down. You see there the yards, the total yards are 234, but I think the really difference, Gus, is the rushing yards. Pittsburgh can really move the football on the ground. They're using all their weapons. They're keeping control of the football. I mean, they are in total control here in the first half.
First down from the 20. Parker again, stops, starts, and he gets to the 12. What a hole. 8-yard pickup. Taylor brings him down, but that offensive line for Pittsburgh is playing extremely well.
Watch as Parker goes up. The hole is supposed to be to his left. He stops, hops back, and he's going to make it go right over here. And there you have it. The hole opens right up. They have to respect where the play is designed to go because they see the running back go there, but he just double hops and gets right up inside the pursuit.
Alan Faneca, Jeff Hardings with some nice blocking for Pittsburgh. 2nd and 2. Parker. And this time he will go backwards. Nicely done by Crocker. 3rd-year man out of Marshall. No gain on the play.
You see that offensive line up in front. Faneca and Hardings, Pro Bowlers. This is a group that takes great pride in their ability to run the football. If you're going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler on the offensive line, you see all the guys they've got up front there, Hardings and Faneca. These guys can move people out of the way.
Makes it 3rd down and 2 at the 12. Pittsburgh has scored 21 straight times inside the red zone. 13 touchdowns, 8 field goals. Here comes the blitz. Browns bring everybody. Incomplete. Intended for Antoine Randall.
And the Browns for the first time really getting some pressure quick up the middle on Roethlisberger. Now you see they're bringing extra people to get there, and the offensive line sees it just a little too late. Roethlisberger gives himself a chance, but just can't get it done, and it sets up the 3-point attempt.
So now Jeff Reed comes in. He's already made a 26-yarder. This one will be from 31 yards away. Reed came into this game 22 of 27 on the season. Got that one up. And good. 2:17 to play in the second quarter. Pittsburgh takes a 20-0 lead on the road against Cleveland. Tomorrow, get a jump on the upcoming Supercross season and scope out some of the hottest bikers like Ricky Carmichael and Chad Reed on the Amped Mobile Supercross Preview Show. Steeler fans and Browns fans.
It's like getting into a fight with your next door neighbor, Gus. You got to look at him.
Cribbs from the 15. And he gets to the 30. Mike Logan with the tackle on special teams after a 15-yard return. All right, a look at the NFC playoff picture. Who do you like, Steve?
Well, I like this team right here is my team. I like the Giants. I think they're going to go far in the playoffs. But you'll notice only one team has clinched. Only the Seattle Seahawks have clinched. Those other teams haven't. So it's up in the air. You see all these teams over here, 8 and 6. It's a dogfight. It's a huge game today in Washington.
Redskins really putting it on the Cowboys last week. 1st down and 10 at the 30. Reesman Jackson in motion. Charlie Fry. He finds Jackson, who gets to the 35. Chris Hope with the stop. That should take us to the 2-minute warning. The score, Pittsburgh 20, Cleveland nothing. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer for all the latest scores, highlights, and playoff news. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. $20 to nothing. The Pittsburgh Steelers lead the Cleveland Browns. It's been an uphill battle for the Browns on offense today. 2nd and 4 right now at the 36. Here comes a blitz. Fry gets it to Northcutt, and Northcutt is dropped by Ike Taylor. After a gain of 3, let's take a look at some scores from around the league. The Redskins leading the Giants at home, 21-10. Joe Gibbs' team rallying at the end of the year. Carolina 3 points better than Dallas. Fry. Incomplete. That one broken up. Jackson, the intended receiver. Brian McFadden, the rookie out of Florida State, has had an excellent game as Atlanta and Tampa tied at 14.
We see there, Gus, the difference in a reason the 2-minute drill did not work for the Browns in that situation is the Steelers are getting a lot of pressure with just 4 guys rushing. They've got 7 guys dropping back into coverage, and Charlie Fry has no place to throw.
7th punt for Richardson. And Richardson angles this toward the near side. Fair catch signal by Randall L. He's out of bounds inside the 15, a 48-yard punt. Tomorrow on 60 Minutes, the tsunami hit a year ago on Christmas in a culture that has no concept of time. How did one group of people know ahead of time that it was coming? Plus Tina Turner, 60 Minutes tomorrow.
And I'll tell you what, Bill Cowher, I'd be surprised if he didn't do anything except go for a score, except that he's got Jerome Bettis in the backfield. Maybe he is going to try and grind it out here with a 20-point lead before halftime. But this Steeler team, Gus, is really, really pressing hard to get into the playoffs. And today they look like a team you don't want to face if they get there.
Steelers do have 3 timeouts remaining. Jerome Bettis. And he gets to the 20. Gain of 6 on the play.
You see Bill Cowher talking to his coaching staff upstairs who are calling the plays. He's talking about the clock. Just keep it rolling with 3 timeouts. There's no reason for them to stop it with a 20-point lead. And you'd think, too, today, almost Christmas Day here in Cleveland, and we got almost 50 degrees. What a break in the weather for these 2 teams.
2nd down and 4. The bus. And Bettis gets to the 22. Andre Davis
the only reason
the tackle.
Sorry, Gus. The only reason I bring up the weather is because usually this time of year you're trying to get in at halftime to get warmed up. I mean, it's usually a huge factor in this. But Bill Cowher just turning his team loose, and right now you see with his arms folded, his chin is tucked away. It's not doesn't have it pushed out. Oh wait, there it is. Now he's pulling it out. When he's got that chin poked out in front of him, you know something's going on. Kind of relaxed guy for usual Bill Cowher posture on the sideline.
So that'll take us to the end of the first half, 20-0. Pittsburgh leads Cleveland. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Welcome back to Cleveland, where the Steelers lead the Browns 20-0 at halftime. Gus Johnson and Steve Tasker, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and tell you what, Bill Cowher's team looks great on both sides of the football.
Well, we said coming in they've got to keep winning to get in the playoffs. Man, they are headed there in a big way. They're steamrolling the Cleveland Browns. It started with their offense from the first series they got the football. They ended with a big Jerome Bettis run. He pounds his way into the end zone from about 3 yards out, takes the linebacker on, still gets into the end zone. But the big story is that guy, Ben Roethlisberger, with a sensational throw over the middle to Hines Ward. It's been a real show for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense here in the first half.
Now, when you look at their defense led by Joey Porter, they are getting to Charlie Fry, and you feel a little bad for the rookie.
Well, as good as the Steelers offense played, this defense has been the story. The Cleveland Browns have done nothing offensively for this reason. Joey Porter with a sack fumble right here. right inside the 10-yard line, and then he comes back, blows right in on Charlie Fry once again. This defense, and we spoke about it in the first half, Gus, they have got a swagger that is going to carry them into the playoffs. Now, they've struggled at different times this season. Only a month ago, they lost 3 straight games in a row. But I'll tell you what, the Steelers need to win out to get into the playoffs, and it looks like they're trying to do it right here today.
Steelers, last couple of games, beating Minnesota and Chicago. Joey Porter having another Pro Bowl season. He's heading to Hawaii. Ben Roethlisberger. Remember last year when we saw him for the first time, he had the short schoolboy haircut. Now he kind of looks like a rock star combined with Dan Fouts.
Yeah. Oh, he's got his own thing going on, no question.
Steelers will have it to start the second half. Morgan, the return man. And Quincy Morgan, the former Brown, gets to the 27-yard line before being brought down. All right, a look at the fantasy notebook, and Steve, take us through them.
Well, there you go. Roethlisberger having the big day. Fry is struggling. He's had a lot of drops as well, so it hasn't all been his fault. As you look at the guys rushing, Willie Parker, Reuben Drones really has struggled. The running game has been non-existent for the Browns, but Parker's getting a good day of work in. Ward and Wilson having the big plays for the Steelers offense, and of course, because of the lack of completions for the Browns, their receiving core has not really contributed.
Pittsburgh starts from their own 28. Play fake, Roethlisberger short roll, fires on the run, and he skips that one to his intended receiver, Antoine Randall.
The Steelers come out with a play fake, get Roethlisberger out of the pocket, try and get a play down the football field. I mean, you come out, Gus, in the first series of the second half, and it's really a question about what your coaching staff told you at halftime. They make some adjustments. They see what the defense is trying to do to you. And you'd think when the Steelers went into halftime, there wasn't much to say because they've had their way with this Browns offense this far.
Second down and 10 at the 28. Willie Parker. And Parker grabbed from behind by Andre Davis. You have to like the way Andre Davis has been playing this season. He's their #1 tackler, just given a new 5-year contract extension last week. Very positive and hard-hitting player.
Yeah, they really like him, and they really were kind of question mark. He came in, they switched from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Didn't know exactly how he would make that transition. But, of course, you mentioned the new 5-year deal. He's made that transition just fine.
Third down 8 at the 30. Steelers need to go to the 38 for a first down. Brown showing blitz. Roethlisberger with time. Hines Ward, first down. Man, this guy is good. Steve, this man right here, Hines Ward, he may not be the most talented receiver in the NFL, but I know he has the biggest heart.
No question. He's a real pro. Watch as he's got presence of mind. He slides. He's down, but he gets up before he's touched so he can get up and get the first down, giving a little extra little bit to make his team stay on the field.
And it's Parker hopping through the hole, gets to the 43. Let's take a closer look at Hines Ward.
What we saw in the first half, he passed Lynn Swann for touchdowns in a career as a Pittsburgh Steeler. He signed the deal to stay a Steeler for the rest of his career. He's got a 1,000-yard season. I think more than that, his presence as a leader and a true professional sets a tone for the younger players that are always coming into the league as Steelers. I mean, they've got a real culture of winning in this organization.
Ward, 6 catches, 96 yards already. Willie Parker. And Willie Parker gets close to the 45. Ben Taylor makes a tackle, a gain of 2. You have to like the way Romeo Crennel has guided this Cleveland defense. The offense obviously has major problems, but the defense looks like he has some really fine players in place.
Yeah, and he knows that when they get into problems defensively, it's been because they lack experience in this scheme that he is putting in here in Cleveland. He thinks they're getting better, and they are. I mean, they're starting to get more disciplined, more knowledgeable about what they're supposed to do, and it's showing in their statistics. Slowly but surely, they're improving defensively.
3rd and 6 at the 45. They need to get to midfield. Roethlisberger, he'll run it and won't go anywhere. Beautifully done. Nick Eason third-year man from Clemson, a loss of 1. And Chris Gardocki will come in and punt for the second time.
Well, Roethlisberger tucks this ball away right here. He's going to try and go for it, but just can't get out of it. He saw the pressure coming, thought maybe he could run out of that tackle by Eason, just couldn't get it done.
So Gardocki from the 30, left-footed punter, wobbly kick. Northcutt signals for the fair catch, and he has it at the 15. A 43-yard punt. So here comes Charlie Fry. Let's see if he can get something going here to start the second half. Pittsburgh with a 20-0 lead. Charlie Fry and the Browns approach the line of scrimmage. They have it at their own 14. Fry starts the second half in the shotgun with a 5-receiver package. And Fry over the middle, caught by his tight end, Steve Hayden. So Charlie Fry and Ben Roethlisberger have met before on the college level. First meeting, Big Ben struck first with a TD pass to Steve Little. Fry answered back for Akron, putting the Zips ahead with a TD pass to Matt Cherry. But Big Ben made the big play, completing a 70-yard Hail Mary to give the Redhawks the win as time expired. The first of 3 wins by Roethlisberger over Fry in MAC conference play. Fry again to Hayden. Nice catch. Flag on the play. On the far side, Hayden at the 30. As Clark Higgins brings him down. Head-to-head competition between the two.
That's pretty good numbers for quarterbacks, although Charlie Fry wishes he had worse numbers and better wins.
Offside, defense, 55. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Joey Porter offside. And I tell you, talking about MAC quarterbacks, there's another one. Kid named Omar Jacobs that plays for Bowling Green. 6'4", 224 kid that's got a really good feel in the pocket. Has a weird way he throws the ball, but I tell you, I think he has a future up in this league. Here's Fry down the field, incomplete.
You're right. If these MAC quarterbacks coming out, what's up with that? I mean, there's 3 of them right here. You just mentioned Omar Jacobs. Then you got the 2 guys in this game today. Roethlisberger, I mean, you can't make a bigger splash than he did a year ago coming out of Miami of Ohio, and you see the numbers he's put up offensively, passing yards, rushing yards in that offense, and Charlie Fry just beginning his career.
How about Chad Pennington and Byron Leftwich?
Man,
they were MAC conference quarterbacks. 2nd and 10 at the 30. Fry underneath, knocked away. Larry Foote redirecting it.
You think about the adjustments that the Browns made at halftime. It looks like they decided to open it up a little bit, spread the defense out, and I think when you do that, Gus, you make it a little more simple for the quarterback to see where everybody is. And I think the guy he looks for, as Maurice Carthon calls the next play, the guy Charlie Fry looks for in the secondary is Polamalu. If you can find number 43 for the Steelers, you might get a better handle on what their defense is going to do. You see there, he's walking right up to the line of scrimmage.
3rd down 10 at the 30. They need to go to the 40 for first down. Fry over the middle. Beautiful catch. Antonio Bryant. And Bryant picks up the first down.
And this is Charlie Fry. You see Polamalu gets picked up. He's got time to throw. And there you have it. It is a nice catch by Bryant, but I think that's exactly what's happened. They've spread this Steelers defense out.
Handoff Drones. Drones gang tackled at the 43. A 1-yard pickup. James Ferrier plugging up the hole.
There you see Reuben Drones. We spoke about him in the open, Gus. They really need a running game to complement Charlie Fry. You can't expect him to come in and do it all himself. And this guy, 280 yards, 1,156 yards, and 280 carries. But today he only has 8.
2nd down and 10. Play fake. Fry rolling on the run. And it's caught by Steve Hayden, the tight end. Steve Hayden, that's his 42nd catch this season, most by a Browns tight end since Ozzie Newsome caught 62 passes in 1985.
And you see here as the Browns huddle up, they've got a lot better here in the first opening moments of the second half. They're looking as good here as they did at any point in the first half, and that's what a halftime will do. And I think it's a good nod to the coaching staff of the Browns that they were able to get some things done in halftime, make some adjustments to give their team a chance to move the football.
Maurice Carthon, the offensive coordinator, electing to open things up. And Fry steps up in the pocket, throws on the run, incomplete. Northcutt, the intended receiver. Taylor and Chris Hope defensively for Pittsburgh.
You know, watch as Charlie Fry buys himself some time with his athletic ability as he dodges Keisel. He gets out to the side. He's got to put a lot more on this. You see, this is a short throw. He had Northcutt down the sidelines and just couldn't get it out there. And I don't know what that was. He didn't like the end of that throw.
8th punt of the game for Kyle Richardson. This one off the side of his foot, but he drives it over the head of Randall and into the end zone for a touchback. So the Steelers will have it at their own 20, leading it 20-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the United States Army, an army of one. MetLife. Have you met life today? And by Hummer. Check out the new H3. Hummer, like nothing else.
Welcome back, where the Steelers will start at their own 20-yard line. Ben Roethlisberger, 11 of 17, 204 yards. He's thrown a touchdown to Hines Ward. No interceptions. Roethlisberger in his second year has battled numerous injuries this season. Two-man in motion. They give it to Willie Parker. Watch Willie run! Does he have the gas? Willie Parker! How about this? Willie Parker, touchdown! 80 yards!
What we said in the open, Gus, the Browns have got to find a way not to give up the big play, and they just blew it. A complete blown assignment by the front seven in the run game. Somebody didn't fill their gap properly, and Willie Parker found the gap, and it was a foot race. And you asked in the middle of that run, Gus, did he have enough gas? Wow.
For Willie Parker, 17 carries, 130 yards, and with that 80-yard run, he goes over the 1,000-yard mark. Willie Parker, as Reed kicks the extra point, becomes the first Steelers running back other than Jerome Bettis to rush for 1,000 yards since Barry Foster in 1992. Merry Christmas, Willie. Willie Parker's 80-yard touchdown run ties Cordell Stewart's 80-yard touchdown run back in '96 against Carolina for the 4th longest rushing play in Steelers history. Bobby Cage had a 97-yard touchdown run back in 1949. John Henry Johnson, an 87-yard touchdown run in 1960 against Philly. And here's Steve Hyden. Hyden gets to the 35. And Frenchie Fuqua back in 1970 against the Eagles, an 85-yard touchdown run. But Willie Parker, he's in the books. He's got 1,000 big ones this year, and the Steelers have a big lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. Introducing the DirecTV Plus DVR that lets you record, pause, and rewind live TV with a touch of a button. And by Chevrolet, an American revolution.
And welcome back. Romeo Crennel, you get the feeling that this man will turn it around in Cleveland. Not a good day, though, for his Browns, who will start 1st and 10 at their own 34. Comes a blitz, Fry dances, throws up top, and it's caught. Bryant pushed out of bounds. And they spot it at the 37 inside Pittsburgh territory. Troy Polamalu pushes him out of bounds after a 29-yard gain.
When we spoke to the Browns during the week, this is what they said Charlie Frye brings to the table. He's a good athlete. He's got good presence in the pocket. Bought himself some time, and just like Roethlisberger, kept his eyes down the field and found his guy, Bryant, for the big gainer.
Antonio Bryant has had a very solid year, 4th year out of Pittsburgh. 56 catches for 836 yards coming into the game, averaging 15 yards a grab. Now Frye all day to throw. Steps up, he wants to run it. He gets by Von Oelhoffen and out of bounds at the 25, and Kimo is down. Kimo Von Oelhoffen may have hurt himself. Charlie Frye with the slippery move as he picks up 12.
Von Oelhoffen, you'll see him starts out in the middle of the field, drops out into coverage, and this is Charlie Frye. All 4 receivers going straight up the field on go routes. Nobody turned around to help him, and looked like Von Oelhoffen there diving at the end might have come down on his shoulder.
And we talked to Kimo the other day, and Von Oelhoffen was so positive. He talked about the most important thing for the Steelers, controlling the line of scrimmage, which they have in this game.
There's no question that he's a big part of the guys up front in that defense. Really set the tone, and those linebackers kind of have the swagger, but those defensive linemen are the big horses. Von Oelhoffen, former Cincinnati Bengal, has been a huge addition since him coming over to Pittsburgh a few years ago.
6'4", 299, 12th year from Boise State.
Right here you'll see him lay out and try and make the play. It looked like that's just a lot of weight coming down on his right shoulder.
So Von Oelhoffen, good sign, walks off the field on his own.
Smiling. Okay, now he's all right. Bill Cowher smiling with him as you see the last 8 possessions for the Browns. I'll tell you what, Kyle Richardson's the most fatigued guy on the Browns roster.
He's the punter. Cleveland has it at the Pittsburgh 25. Ball thrown over the middle. Aaron Shea with the grab. And Shea stopped by Brett Kiesel.
Looks like Polamalu's going to come up in coverage and make the tackle, but then just not finish it off. He swings him around, and you see he just keeps his feet. Shea spinning out, trying to get some more yardage, but the pursuit is all over him.
Aaron Shea, 6'3", 250. Troy Polamalu, 5'10", 212. Second down, 8 at the 23. Frye in the shotgun. Frye, quick strike to the sideline. Northcutt, nice catch as he goes up high to get it inside the 20-yard line. 4-yard pickup.
When we spoke to Romeo Crennel, as you look there at the success or lack thereof the Browns have had, they really struggled inside the 20-yard line. But we spoke to Romeo Crennel, and we asked him about the turnover in players. He says about half the guys on my roster were not here a year ago, and if today is any indication, they've got some more work to do with their roster and what they're going to do with some of these players as they watch finish the season.
Third down, 4 at the 19. Frye. Oh, Joey Porter gets to him again. 3 sacks today for Joey Porter. He came out of nowhere this time. A late developing play.
He's going to come from over here. Let's see, from right, well, actually from right inside. Look how far he went around the other side. I couldn't find him in there. He came from complete. He comes all the way around from the right, all the way around, comes in on the left of the defense, and finally gets there as Charlie Frye looking down the field. Doesn't find him. You see there, he stops, hesitates, and loops all the way around. You can't do that unless your defense is really fast.
So on 4th and 14, the Browns go for it. Frye Throws it up in the air for Drones in the end zone. Incomplete. No flag on the play. Ike Taylor covering. And the Browns will turn it over on downs.
Yeah, the reason there was no flag, Gus, that ball was out of the end zone, uncatchable.
5:58 to play in the third. Steelers will have it at about the 30 after this.
Yeah, a moment ago, Charlie Fry came off the bench. And really the only guy you want to talk to is a guy who's been there. Trent Dilfer comes up, talks to him. You'll see, gives him some encouragement. And then he says, you know what, gives him one last little bit, pats him on the chest and says, good job. That's the only guy a young player sometimes will listen to.
Roethlisberger to the sideline. Hines Ward again in front of McCutcheon. Ben Roethlisberger, big smile on his face. One thing about Ben, he's so cool and relaxed all the time. That's what you want from your leader at quarterback.
And I think the thing that surprises so many people is he's young. It's his second year as a starter.
Ron Haynes in the game at tailback now. Ward in motion. Roethlisberger sets up a screen. Haynes changes directions, and Haynes dodges forward and gets to midfield. Stopped by Russell. Not only is he young and poised, but he's managed to play through pain. Ben Roethlisberger has had some injuries, Steve.
As you see, there's thumb and his knee. He had surgery on November 3rd, and you see there looking smart in his pedal pushers. I don't know about the helmet. Why did you put the helmet on? I can't see putting the helmet on with just the game pants. I don't get that, but nevertheless, the knee and the thumb are still bothering him. The thumb particular because it's on his throwing hand.
Needless to say, Ben a little slimmer out of the shoulder pads, according to CBS, as Haynes runs the football. Alvin McKinley with the tackle. Here's a question for you, partner.
All right, man.
Which of this year's Heisman finalists has the most potential for NFL success? Reggie Bush from SC, Vince Young from Texas, Matt Leinart, the quarterback from SC. Cast your vote at NFL.com.
They're all. I think this guy can plug right in right away. I mean, he's a difference maker. He's fast. He has great vision. He can catch the football. He does everything you want a running back to do, and that's an easier transition than those other two guys who are quarterbacks.
Looks like next week the Houston Texans and San Francisco 49ers will play in the Reggie Bush Bowl in San Francisco, as the Steelers keep Haynes on the ground, a gain of 1.
The Steeler offense just kind of humming along, and it all starts with those big guys up front. I mean, they really dominate the line of scrimmage whenever they line up. They're so big, so physical, and when you've got a running game that you know your coaching staff's committed to, these offensive linemen know they're going to get a chance to do what they do best up front every game. There's not going to be any of those finesse games when you're a Steelers offensive lineman, and they really, really revel in that.
3rd down 8 at the 47. Roethlisberger with all day. Wilson out of bounds at the 25. Now they call it an incomplete pass. Cedric Wilson had to go down for it, and he just couldn't dig it out of the turf.
You see as Roethlisberger lays this out, just flattens him out. Oh, and there's it comes out right at the end. Yep, that's right, no catch. You've got to finish it on the sidelines. You've got to roll out. You've got to finish the process of catching the football. You see there the ball rolls out as he was tucking it away. They watch you all the way through that play. You have to come up with the ball at the end of it inbounds, or that's no catch. That's a good call by the official.
Brings on Chris Gardocki. And Gardocki will punt it from the 39-yard line. Dennis Northcutt is back deep. And Bill Cowher wants to talk. He may not understand why that wasn't called a catch.
Yeah, you don't see him. I'll tell you what.
When do you see Bill Cowher smile? How about that?
I'll tell you what. You can guess the score.
Ruling on the field, there was an incomplete pass. We'll review the play.
Now, why is he doing that? I mean,
he just said, "I don't know."
I know. He's like, he's taking it. I'll tell you what. If this was a 6-7 game, he wouldn't be doing this. You see, there he comes down. And he's got to keep control of the football throughout the process of catching that ball. When he goes down, he'll say this is a catch, and he's down there, but he's not, because he's not touched down, and then the ball comes loose and bounces on the ground.
I don't know. I just saw him catch the ball. Both of his knees were down. His elbow touched.
But nobody touched him. And
looked like a catch to me.
I don't know. I know Bill Cowher doesn't have a flight he's trying to race home to catch. I mean, this is a wasted timeout and a wasted challenge. And he's not breaking a sweat over it. He's shooting the breeze there with Lee Bodden. And as you see there, Gus, he's got it, and then his knees are down, but nobody touches him, and then the ball pops loose, is rolling around on the ground. I mean, that's as bad as the Steve Hayden catch in the first half for the Browns in the first quarter that was not overturned as an incompletion.
We'll find out right now.
After reviewing the play stands as called incomplete pass. The receiver never maintained control of the ball as he rolled out of bounds.
Partner, you were absolutely right.
Yeah. So were the officials.
Yep. So Chris Gardocki will punt, and he's punted 1,107 times without the ball being blocked. That's an NFL record. The next longest current active streak is Andy Lee with the 49ers, 188.
Wow. I think let's see if you just put the hex on him here.
Doesn't look like the Browns are trying to block one. Gardocki gets it away, hangs it in the air. Northcutt with the fair catch at the 10. 36-yard punt. Monday on CBS, looking for the smartest, funniest new show on TV. See why critics everywhere call How I Met Your Mother one of the brightest comedies in years. Full of sharp writing, terrific chemistry, and in-your-face laughs. How I Met Your Mother, Monday on CBS, America's most watched network and #1 network. Let's take a look at some of the scores. Kansas City walloping San Diego now, 20-7 in the third. Jacksonville a little bit better than Houston in the third. And Buffalo, how about your Bills, Steve? Leading Cincinnati on the road. First down and 10 at the 11. Fry underneath. And it is a catch. Friesman Jackson. Nice way of cradling that football, gain of 20. Jackson gobbled it up.
Once again, the Browns going no huddle and opening it up with 5 wide receivers.
Fry, can he get away? No, he is driven down to Shea Townsend. 5th sack of the day for Pittsburgh.
And this has been a problem all day. They send guys off the edge. They only send 4, but they bring them from all over the field, and the offensive lineman can't find them. And they got a guy running free right at Charlie Fry, and in this case it was Townsend who got the sack.
Townsend showing some great strength. Fry tried to break the tackle and get out of the pocket, and Shea Townsend only 5'10", 190. With a very nice tackle, a loss of 11 yards, 2nd and 21 at the 20. Fry in trouble again, lost it. Loose ball, another sack. And the Steelers have it. James Ferrier, Clark Higgins with pressure. First turnover of the day for Cleveland.
You watch here, Charlie Fry steps up, and right in his face, he sees Hagan come around. The ball pops right loose, and then it's just a wrestling match to see who comes up with it. The pressure has been a factor all day for the Browns. They cannot handle the different schemes that the Steelers are throwing at them. You knew with a young quarterback that was probably going to be a strategy that this defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau used, and it's worked to perfection today. And Ferrier and the rest of those linebackers, Porter, Harrison, Hagans, they've all had a great day in that defensive scheme of the Steelers.
Joey Porter with 3 sacks today. Came into this game with 8 on the season. 1st and 10 at the 15 for Roethlisberger. And Willie Parker make that Haynes running the football. Let's update Jacksonville and Houston. In Houston, here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Gus and Steve, Jacksonville with a win there in LeBrandon Tofield. How's his day going? 2 carries, 3 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17-13 Jaguars as they start the 4th.
So the Jaguars under Jack Del Rio having a fine season, 1 quarter away from clinching a playoff spot. They were 9-7 last year, missed the playoffs by 1 game. 2nd and 10 at the 15. Haynes with room. Haynes, 6 points. $15-yard touchdown run for Haynes, his 3rd touchdown of the season. And the Steelers take a 33-0 lead.
Well, if the Browns are going to look to improve next year, Gus, they can do it by starting to find a run defense. They have been unable to answer the Pittsburgh Steelers in the run game or in the passing game. They have really struggled up front physically, and they cannot fill the gaps that the Steelers' offensive line is putting in their defense.
Next point up and good. Bill Cowher has this team playing its best football late in the season. They've won 2 straight. Looks like it'll be 3 in a row. And we'll take on Detroit next week in the Steel City. Rough day for Cleveland, but they've had a great history, and they're getting ready to celebrate their 60th anniversary, and they're putting together all this old footage. There's the great Jim Brown, and they will debut some of that footage next season. Romeo Crennel's not thinking about next year. There's number 32, though. He was here before the game. Jim Brown, the greatest football player in the history of any football league.
Yeah, you've got that right. I mean, that even to this day, decades after he finished playing, with guys who never saw him play, they still speak in hushed tones when they talk about Jim Brown. I don't know if there'll ever be a guy who will put together a career like Jim Brown did when he played here in Cleveland.
$34-0. Haynes enjoying himself on the Steelers sideline. One thing about this Steelers team, Steve, they always have great team guys that are able to accept their roles.
That's Bill Cowher. I mean, they have got a great culture on this squad, and it all comes from the head coach. He wants guys that were like him. He was a special teams guy, an overachiever, a guy who loved being on the team. That's the kind of guys he brings into the Steelers organization.
Cribbs from the 2. And Cribbs gets to the 30, a 28-yard return, stopped by Clint Grewalt. Let's take a look at the NFL Today stat pack. Jim Caldwell, this 3-hour game sequence will actually be liberating, allows us to put the sadness aside of Coach Tony Dungy losing his son this week. Boomer and Shannon on the playoffs. Carr will win. Carolina will win the NFC South. On Sean Alexander's contract. If I have to go to another team, I'd probably cry, but so be it. Is Seattle the best team in the NFC? Sims, yes. Dan, yes. as they run it. And speaking of our guys in New York, let's go to Greg Gumbel for an NFL update.
Gus, thank you. At Cincinnati, the Bengals having all kinds of problems with the Bills. They regain the lead here. Carson Palmer up top, 27 yards for Chris Henry. 24-20. Bengals in the lead. Under a minute and a half to play in the third quarter, guys.
Chris Henry, inactive last week. He got in some trouble. Caught with marijuana in his car, a suspended license, also a suspended tag, and he was speeding. So Marvin Lewis sat him down. Here's Drones getting outside. And Drones gets to the 45. And that should take us to the end of the third quarter. 34-0. Pittsburgh with the lead.
You'll see here's Drones going to cut it back to the outside, and the Steelers, I think, what happens when you get up 34-0 on a team, you start doing some things, maybe take, for granted, try to roll the dice, and they catch you sometimes leaning the wrong way, and it gives up a big play.
34-0 the score after 3. We'll return to Cleveland Brown Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. All right, welcome back. 34-0. The Pittsburgh Steelers lead the Cleveland Browns. Browns with the ball at the Steelers' 46. Fry over the middle, caught by his tight end, Steve Hayden. Hayden stopped by James Ferrier. Gain of 9 on the play. This January, getting ready for a whole new generation of comedy and a whole new generation of romance when Jenna Elfman stars in Courting Alex. Coming to CBS Monday, January 23rd. Second down and 1 at the 37. Drones. Oh, Polamalu. What a defensive play. Troy Polamalu with the tackle, a loss of 2.
You'll watch coming right in from this side. He's just going to go right over the top, just keep rolling after he's blocked there by Northcutt. Watch how fast he gets in right here. Watch him go right across the block. Northcutt tries to get him. He just keeps rolling and makes the tackle in the backfield. Wow.
Third down 3 at the 39. Play fake. Fry with time. To the sideline, incomplete. As Ike Taylor knocks it away from Dennis Northcutt. Troy Polamalu, one of 4 Steelers heading to Hawaii. Alan Faneca, his 5th time. Jeff Harding's his 2nd. Then there's Troy, and Joey Porter heads there for the 3rd time. Although he's not as big, Troy Polamalu plays with such a great intensity at safety. He reminds me of a Ronnie Lott or a Kenny Easley.
He reminds me almost more of Junior Seau. I mean, Junior would do that, just what he did 2 plays ago. Junior would go in and jump across the line of scrimmage and blow plays up before they got started. Same way.
Seau, a linebacker. Drones can't go anywhere. Breaks the tackle. Steelers are after him. Drones turns it on. Drones lowers his shoulder. Well, that's some hard running. Reuben Drones does not know that the score is 34-0.
I'll tell you what, it's a nice little 7-yard gain with a 90-yard run attached. You see there, he gets spun back, and I'll tell you, every time a back does this, your coach is on the sideline going, oh, no, no. Then he turns it up, and his teammates rally to him, and they get the first down. Charlie Fry out there right with him as he finishes up that run.
Drones, 9 carries, 38 yards, the hard way. 1st and 10 at the Pittsburgh 30. Drones again. Breaks it back, can't stay on his feet this time, and Ike Taylor keeps him down. Kimo von Oelhoffen getting to him first. Wednesday on CBS, Criminal Minds is the new primetime show. Seen by more viewers than any other new show this season. See why over 61 million viewers are on the edge of their seats. Don't miss the hit drama Criminal Minds. Wednesday on CBS, America's #1 network. Second down and 11 at the 31. Here's Fry. With time again, decides to tuck it and gets out of bounds. Larry Foote pushes him out of bounds.
You know, Gus, you talk about Charlie Fry coming in. They won last week in Oakland, made some plays at the end of the game. They started to rally around this guy, and you talk to the guys during the week about what they feel about how good this guy could be, and they think what he does better than anybody, or better than anybody they've got, is he leads this team. This team, when he steps in the huddle, they look at him and they see a winner. They see a guy they can rally around. He's got all the intangibles. He steps in the huddle, and right from the word go, they thought, man, this guy is a difference maker. Now, he'd like to have more wins than he does, but that's going to come with time.
$34-0, Pittsburgh leading. Some frustrated fans here in Cleveland as the Browns are faced with a 3rd and 7 at the 27. Fry in the end zone, incomplete. Hide the intended receiver. Hope right there. No flag on the play.
Wasn't a bad throw by Fry. Gave his guy a chance to make the play, but right here, there's no question. This is 4-down territory. Watch as this ball comes out. It wobbles in the air. Fry looks back to his left. Nice veteran move. Then comes back to his right to take the safety out of the play. And it's just a one-on-one with Hayden. And I think if he had it to do over again, I think he could pull that in. He got 2 hands on it, but there's no question. Hope was right on the back of his, right on his back.
That makes it 4th down and 7 at the 27. Pittsburgh showing a late blitz. Flags everywhere.
False start, 72, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
72, Ryan Tucker.
Well, now it doesn't get any easier as the 4th and long comes up, and that's kind of the situation the Browns find themselves in. And I think Romeo Crennel leaving Charlie Fry in the game, letting his guys go for it, spreading the football out. I think that's exactly the kind of thing a coach needs to do. Give his guys a chance to play and let them know you haven't given up on them.
4th down and 12. Here's Fry out of the shotgun, in trouble. And Fry sacked once again. This time it's Brett Kiesel. 7th sack of the day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they will get the football back with 11:29 to play in the 4th, up 34-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Sonic. It's not just good, it's Sonic good. And by the all-new Civic from Honda. It'll reverse your thinking.
Tomorrow, get a unique all-access look at the 2005 Fall Championship season, including volleyball, field hockey, cross-country, and soccer on the NCAA Fall Highlight Show. Charlie Batch is in the game now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Batch this season, 22 of 35, 215 yards. Charlie also out of the MAC Conference, Eastern Michigan. Former Detroit Lion. Haynes, more running room. Haynes gets to the Cleveland 40 as Crocker brings him down. So Ben Roethlisberger is done for the day. Big Ben, look at that passer rating, 120, 13 of 20, 226, a touchdown, no picks, Steve.
Yeah, it's become one of those things, particularly in the AFC. If your quarterback doesn't have a 100 rating, he's having a bad year. It never used to be that way. If you were like 85 or 90, you were having a good year. Now, all these quarterbacks from Roethlisberger to Manning to everybody else in the AFC, if you don't have a 100 passer rating, you're not very good.
Well, you got Manning, Carson Palmer, Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, another very efficient quarterback. Haynes running it. Gets to the 35. Steelers determined to keep it on the ground now and run the clock out.
You know, as you look at this Steelers team, you think they probably, or if they play like today, they're going to get in the playoffs. You look at the guys on their roster with Bill Cowher, like Jerome Bettis and those guys. And I don't know if there's anybody in the National Football League, maybe Brett Favre, who is as beloved as Jerome Bettis. You see there that 2000 was the last shutout they had against Cleveland. I think if you think about guys in the National Football League that are known league-wide and respected, Jerome Bettis may be, along with Brett Favre, at the top of that list.
Bus. Haynes again picks up the first down, gets inside the 30. Coming up next, Peyton Manning and the Colts try to bounce back against Sean Alexander, and the Seahawks or the Raiders battle the Broncos. Check local listings beginning with Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer on the NFL Today. More people watch the NFL on CBS than any other network. There he is, Troy Polamalu.
Great thing about Polamalu, they asked him somebody about, you know, why he has his hair long out the back of his helmet, because they can't read his name on the back of his jersey, and he had a great line. He said, "My hair is my name."
That is a great line.
He's a great player, man.
And there's a fan on the field, a Browns fan. And he just got dumped. James Harrison just dumped him.
It's never pretty when those things end. I'll tell you what, we do not show that stuff on TV for good reason, because if you show it, maybe people wouldn't do it, because if they saw how those things end, it is not pretty.
So while we're waiting, let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture. And Steve, regardless of who gets into the playoffs, the AFC playoff picture, when the playoffs start, this is going to be really entertaining.
I'll tell you what, too, and the thing I've noticed about the NFL playoffs when they do take place is the best football, Gus, seems to happen on that first weekend of the playoffs, that wild card weekend, because you get a team like Pittsburgh, who in the last couple of weeks had to make a sprint for the finish, and you get a team that's a division title winner that's got to play, and they got to go in and play, and they're playing well, and you get these teams that are on a desperate pace to make the playoffs, and it carries over into that first weekend. I can't wait for the playoffs to start.
First down and 10. Haynes slips, flag on the play.
Offside, defense, 96, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
So if it ended the way it looks right here, and Pittsburgh got in, who would they play in the first round, Steve? Would they play New England?
Yes, they played. Yes, Pittsburgh would play New England because they'd play the least of the division title winners. No, that's not right. Cincinnati, I think, would play Pittsburgh because they're the better division winning record, and those top two teams get the bye. And then the middle two would get it. So Jacksonville would play New England.
Oh. First down and 5 at the 23. Here's Batch handing it off. Haynes again. Haynes gets to the 20. Thompson with the tackle. Buffalo and Cincinnati. Here's Greg Gumbel.
Gus and Steve, quite a football game in Cincinnati. 6 lead changes. The latest goes in favor of the Bills. Kelly Holcomb 1 yard out to give Buffalo a 27-24 lead. 11 minutes and change to play in the fourth quarter.
As you take a look at those Cincinnati Bengals, they are competing head-to-head with Denver for a first-round bye.
I'll tell you what, Cincinnati being a young team, they may not understand how important that first-round bye is, because if they did, they'd be battling a lot harder against a Buffalo team that has been down in the second half of the season.
Pittsburgh, after the dead ball, personal foul, face mask, number 11, Pittsburgh. It'll be a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh.
So based on what you said, and I know that right now it's very confusing in terms of the playoff picture, but there's a possibility that this Pittsburgh team, if the Cincinnati team, if they don't get the bye, could face Pittsburgh in the first round.
Yeah, that's a possibility because, yeah, depending on how Jacksonville, Pittsburgh finish up. If Cincinnati doesn't get the bye, they got to play somebody, and it'll be depending on how New England finishes as well. So it'll come down to that last weekend, depending on who wins, who loses today. It's all up in the air for those first 2 playoff games in the wild card round of the AFC.
First down and 10 at the 33. Haynes. Jacksonville was in a dogfight with Houston earlier. Here's Greg Gumbel.
Gus, still a dogfight. Jacksonville needs a win to clinch a playoff spot. Fred Taylor, 15 tough yards right up the middle to the end zone. Jaguars regain the lead in Houston. 28 minutes to play, fourth quarter.
Gus, there's not much give up in the NFL, man. Nobody doesn't. You see there, Indianapolis, of course, with 1 loss. Jacksonville right behind them in the division. But, you know, as this season wears down, it's amazing the amount of teams who have really stepped up this year. It's impossible to tell at the beginning of the season who's going to finish so strong as to make the playoffs.
Second down and 9. Haynes turns the corner, stays in bounds. Clock keeps running as he gets to the 25.
And there you have the story of the day. Most of those 127 yards coming in the second half for Cleveland. The first downs are totally lopsided in their time of possession.
Steelers will take on the Detroit Lions, who are playing New Orleans today on the road. And the Steelers will take them on at home next week. Third down and 3 at the 26. And movement on the offensive line for Pittsburgh. That's Trey Essex.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Rookie left tackle out of Northwestern. And I don't think Bill Cowher likes Trey's.
Trey Essex is a guy who played for Marvell Smith while Smith was out of the lineup, so it's not like Essex has never been in there. I mean, he's in there now as they start to rotate guys in, make sure their guys stay healthy on the front line.
Here's Batch going up top for Morgan. Touchdown. 31 yards. Quincy Morgan. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have sounded the alarm, letting everybody in the AFC know that they are ready for the postseason.
It was a nice throw by Charlie Batch, and Morgan gets in behind McCutcheon, comes up with the catch. It's not that difficult. It's not complicated. You got to cover the guy when he goes on the streak. It wasn't a double move. It was nothing. It was a sprint to the goal line. And Morgan won the race.
Well, that brings on Jeff Reed to attempt the extra point. The Steelers score in 7 plays, covering 56 yards, holding the ball for 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Extra point up and good. Big game for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they continue to shut out the Browns. Quincy Morgan gives the Pittsburgh Steelers a 41-0 lead over the Cleveland Browns. Steelers fans have a lot to celebrate during this holiday season, especially on this day, Christmas Eve, because they have been perfect on all sides of the football this afternoon. That one going off of a Brown on the line drive kick, and the Browns field it at the Pittsburgh 49. Sean Thompson jumping on it. And we'll head to break. 6:12 left rather in the fourth. Back after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by UBS, a global financial firm with the heart and soul of a two-person organization, you and us. And by the voice-activated Acura TL, a higher form of performance.
Well, Friday, it's an offensive onslaught when Brett Bazinet and the Northwestern Wildcats tangle with Maurice Drew and the Bruins of UCLA in the Sun Bowl. That's Friday, December 30th, 2 o'clock Eastern time on CBS. Browns running the football. Let's take a look around the NFL. San Diego and Kansas City Chiefs holding on to that 20-7 lead. Jacksonville 4 points better now with 5:05 to go in the fourth against Houston. Jacksonville wins and they're in the playoffs. Cincinnati has come back to tie Buffalo 27 apiece. Second down and 8. Drive to the sideline, and it's caught. Antonio Bryant can't get out of bounds, and he gains 9 yards. James Harrison with the tackle. The NFC scores. Washington has gone up 35-20 on the Giants. Remember the first time they met, Giants blanked them something like, what, 36 or 38-0. Yeah, that was the week after Wellington Mara died, and the Dallas Cowboys and Carolina Panthers leading. Falcons and Bucks tied at 17. First and 10 at the 38. Ride to the sideline. Thrown high. North cut. He's down at the 32. Ricardo Coakley with the tackle, a 6-yard pickup.
You know, Gus, as you look at the Steelers on offense and defense, Bill Cowher putting his backups in for the remainder of the most of the fourth quarter here, and you can see, you know, they scored that touchdown, but he's been running the football. He's been handing off. They get into a 3rd and long, and they throw it long for the touchdown. But hey, it's a 3rd and long. You got to do something to try and pick it up. You don't want to get beat 41-0. You've got to get better because nobody's going to take it easy on you at the NFL level.
2nd and 4. Drive. In trouble. And he throws it out of bounds. And don't forget, coming up next, it's Peyton Manning and the Colts against the Seattle Seahawks. Some feel it may be a preview of the Super Bowl in Detroit or Oakland at Denver. And it all comes up next. Check your local listings, beginning with Greg, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer on the NFL Today. Third down 4 at the 32. They hand it off to Lee Suggs. A lot of hitting going on as Suggs picks up 3. The Steelers have not given up a touchdown, Steve, in their last 11 quarters.
Well, it hasn't even been close in the first 3.5 quarters of this game. This Steeler defense has got a swagger like nobody else in the league. I haven't seen the Chicago Bears play, but I'll tell you what, you'll be hard-pressed to find a team today in the NFL who put in a better performance than those 11 guys with the black helmets here in Cleveland.
Steelers put it on the Bears, beating them 21-9. Suggs again dives forward and picks up the first down. Lee Suggs came into this game with 2 carries for 2 yards. He began the year with an ankle injury, And then he missed 6 games with a cracked bone in his thumb. First down and 10 at the 27. Joey Porter, what a player this man is. 3 sacks today. 11 on the season now.
Roger.
Yeah, and he is the fire plug. He's the heart and soul of that defense. 7th-year guy out of Colorado State. He is feisty, to say the least.
Suggs again. Breaks it back, gets down at the 24. And don't forget, Tuesday, January 17th on CBS, Tom Cavanaugh stars as a record executive who knows everything about music but has a lot to learn about love in the new series, Love Monkey. Coming January 17th on CBS, America's #1 network.
We're going to have to get together and watch
that.
We're
going to have to watch that one.
I got to watch that with a buddy, you know.
A very interesting name. 2nd and 7 inside. And this is Smith, the fullback. And that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. You better get your licks in on Romeo Crennel right now, because this Cleveland Browns team is going to be better. It's just a matter of time. 41-0. Pittsburgh with the lead. There's the bus. Easy day for Jerome Bettis. He picked up a touchdown, 6th of the season. 3 sacks for Joey Porter. Big plays for James Ferrier, as he shouts out all of his buddies. 3rd down and 7 at the 24. Fry throwing, and it's caught. Aaron Shea. Today's game was produced by Jim Rickoff and directed by Mark Grant. The senior producer of CBS Sports and the NFL Today is Eric Mann. The director, Bob Matina. Coordinating producer of CBS Sports is Harold Bryant. The associate directors of today's game are Debbie Bulak and Mark Burkhart. The broadcast associate, James W. Johnson, my brother, and Jonathan Graff, and the technical manager, Steve McEwen. Technical director, Phil Doucette. As Fry throws over the middle, caught, Northcutt driven down at the 15. And the audio supervisor is Jay Willis. Stats have been provided by Russ Delenn, and our spotter is Benjamin Calhoun. And our cameramen have been great this season. Charles Hill, Mark Inman, Dwayne Rodriguez, Mike Stahl, Igor Klobus, Mike Bro, Don Clement, and Kerry Kims. Videotape. There's Charles Hill. First down and 10 for the Browns. In videotape, Bill Grittinger, Art Cole, and Paul Ditty. And in graphics, Jean Marie Martin and Betsy Mungovan.
False start, 74. Offense. Be a 5-yard penalty. It also contains a potential 10-second runoff.
There you get a look, Gus, at all the Steeler fans who made the trip.
And our producer somehow snuck out of the truck and is
there
celebrating.
Jim
Jim Rickoff, the cheetah.
He's dropped some weight, actually. He looks good.
Got a new tattoo.
The tattoo's new.
.42 seconds left. Bill Cowher, headset off. Perfect performance today. A's across the board. And don't forget, coming up next, it's Indy at Seattle or Oakland at Denver. Check your local listings, beginning with Greg Dan Shannon and Boomer on the NFL Today. More people watch the NFL on CBS than any other network. Here's Fry, looking in the end zone, batted away at the last moment. Tyrone Carter, Mike Logan, both in on the play.
Trying to hit Shea right down between the hash marks. It's great. It's just a great break on the ball by Carter. He comes in just in the nick of time. You see there's good coverage also by Logan. All the backup guys coming in, not missing a beat. And that's what they're going for. The last time since 2000 they've shut Cleveland out. The Cleveland threatening here at second down.
Fry again to the sideline. And it's a catch inside the 5.
It was a great job by Fry. I mean, this is, you know, when he's had protection today, he's made some pretty good throws, but the pressure's been a real factor, and that's a great catch on the outside there by Jackson.
Friesman Jackson. So the Browns have it at the 3-yard line.
I think it is a matter of pride now for the Browns. You don't want to be shut out. You want to score some points and get a little bit of self-respect back. 41-0, that's hard to live with.
Here comes the blitz. Fry slips, and he is down. Browns do have a timeout. Let's see if they elect to use it.
And they will. And once again, Gus, the front 4 of the Steelers just explode over the line of scrimmage and blow it up before the play can happen. They knock the offensive lineman's feet right back into the feet of Charlie Fry, and he can't even drop back to throw the football or hand it off.
And Indy and Seattle next, or either Oakland and Denver. Check your local listings.
And all of these games now have playoff implications, particularly obviously the Indianapolis and Seattle game, even though it's an AFC-NFC matchup. Huge implications up there in Seattle. And of course the Oakland game in Denver is always not lacking in attitude between those two clubs.
Second down and goal. No timeouts left for Cleveland. Fry dances out, throws across his body, knocked down by Mike Logan. Logan disappointed in himself, almost had an interception.
We saw Ben Roethlisberger get away with it earlier in the day, throwing across his body late back over the middle. And Charlie Fry tries it here for the Browns and almost gets picked off, and should have been picked off by Logan.
Mike Logan in his 9th year out of West Virginia, longtime Steeler. Third down goal. 15 seconds left. Fry under. Oh! Larry Foote! And that will do it for Steve Tasker. This is Gus Johnson. Now let's go to Greg Gumbel.
All right, Gus, thank you. What a convincing win by the Pittsburgh Steelers in Cleveland. 41-0 is the final score.